Hello and welcome back to the FSF PopCast. This is the show that is made by nerds for nerds, and I am Tim, the head nerd around this here ranchero. So today our guest is a screenwriter and admitted lifelong comic book nerd. Now you've seen a lot of his work throughout DC animation for things like the Justice League, different incantations of Batman, Green Lantern, Teen Titans, and there's a whole lot more. He's also a returning guest, which may qualify him for a free sanity check, but we can discuss that later with him. Our thoughts and prayers will go out with our guest as he leaves today. But anyway, let's take a quick moment to welcome Ernie Altbacker back to the show. Welcome back to the show, Ernie.
Thank you for having me again, Tim.
Absolutely.
You've obviously forgotten about the last show, when you kicked me off and said never again. So it was just enough time for when I contacted you. I knew it. I knew you'd forget.
Exactly. I didn't realize till today that you were on the blacklist, but it's fine. We're going to make this go. So
now you couldn't get somebody else.
Sucks to be us, but in the best way. All right. So Ernie, now the last time you were on our show, you went through the pain and suffering that is the FSF podcast. We put you through the origin story question, which is typically the question we ask somebody when we first have them on and we want to get to know that person. Now, for those of you who did not see Ernie in his first time around this ranchero, go watch episode 140. You can catch his origin story there. So instead of an origin story today, Ernie, I thought what we'd do is talk about your new Kickstarter campaign for your indie comic that's coming out. What can you tell us about that, and where can people find it?
Well, I'm doing it with a very talented artist called Josh White. And it is called Area 51 Studios. And you can, if you're on Kickstarter, by the time you type in Area 51, it's the first thing that comes up. But Area 51 Studios or Ernie Altbacker will definitely get you there. The website is area51comic.com. And that's our little personal website. And there is a Kickstarter button. Or you could do /KS. I don't know. There's a lot of complexy stuff, right? But for me, I'm kind of an internet dolt. So I kind of met Josh. We met 2 years ago at Comic-Con. Probably I did the interview, if that was 2023, for maybe Justice League War World. And I wrote a section of that only, the Old West Cowboy Wonder Woman section. And so I met him at that Comic-Con. And you know what? There's like a pretty good story. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I'm sorry. I've gone past Area 51 a little bit. I'll get to that story in a second. But so Area 51 Studios is basically Area 51 does exist. It is a secret base, but it's not for storing a crashed alien spaceship or alien corpses. It is actually a studio lot where alien producers go to make galactic reality TV for their home planets because Earth is such a cheap location to shoot at. So in fact, those alien corpses and that crashed spaceship was from a student film that got scared off by our military. And the props are so good, they're so advanced that we think, oh, those are real aliens. But really, it was a student film that pulled no permits and they ran away. And so that's why there's a big base and stuff. We're still trying to figure it out. In my world, that's what happened. Okay.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I had this idea. I mean, it's frankly a little bit weird. I had it a long time ago when I told my previous, long time ago agents. They were like, "That's way too weird." They want something like, Transformers now, in the animated world, and so I couldn't get it out of my head. So I wrote a novella and stuck it in a drawer, and it was before. I took it out a little bit, half, assed attempt, until I found out basically no one wants novellas. It's like, what do you think you are, John, Steinbeck? You just wrote The Pearl, It's like, the answer is no. I am not Steinbeck. So So I stuck it into a drawer, and I've been doing these movies, these DC movies, and I tried to get into comics, but DC and Marvel have their own great writers, and they were very uninterested in me. So I was like, I got to get off my ass. I want to do original ideas anyway, in addition to still wanting to, if anybody calls me, still wanting to very much write for some. Give me a C-list superhero. I'll do something with it, but C or D. I'll do that. I'm not expecting the crown jewels from anybody. But so I saw this thing called the Comics Creator Panel, the Comics Creator Connection, and one of its iterations. There are panels where previous people who have done it now tell you what they did, but also there's like a speed dating thing where writers and artists kind of meet. And so I met Josh there, and everybody was giving him his card. His stuff was really good. And at the end, I was like, I was kind of a little thirsty, a little needy. I go, I kind of do these movies for DC, and I could just see in his eyes, like, this guy's full of shit. Right? Right? And I'm like, I blew it. Right. So
sure, buddy. Sure you do. Yeah, no problem.
Exactly. Right. I mean, because you hear a lot of stuff like that in Comic-Con. But so I either that night, I think that night or the next day, he goes to the screening of Justice League Warworld, and apparently he was telling his friends, like, I got cards here. This is that guy. He said something about DC. I don't know. Kind of could be full of shit. And then they introduced the panel, and I was first out. And he goes, holy crap, there is the guy. He's there. And his friend goes, I guess he's not so full of shit. You might want to call him. So he said that's why he called. Like, basically.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. It's like a comedy of errors. And so for the first year, I was like, let me go pitch this comic. You're gonna create the visuals. I'm gonna try and pitch it. We'll try and go with like an indie comic book company or something. And that went just like nowhere. Or to go to one of the streamers and stuff. And again, nobody was interested. And we're just, and he was the one who was like, let's try the Kickstarter. I think because the technical aspects of it scare the heck out of me. I'm too old. It's like I churn my own butter, right? I still wear top hats, right? I mean, this is like, what? I need to do this and that. And he's like, I'm going to take care of that. You just write the comic, and he's doing the art. And I'm not talking some of the art, like all of the art. He's penciling, he's inking, he's coloring, nice. He's lettering. So he's kind of amazing. I got lucky. I got lucky in the draw. And so yeah, it's out there right now. And so I've been noodling with this idea to try and get, because I'm like, how many people listen to something and then go act? And so I want to do an experiment, basically. And we were going to do this stickers as kind of a next level thing if we got our first thing. And I want to do them now as an exclusive. Like the only way you can get these stickers is if you have to buy a printed copy of something, either the novella, which we're offering, or issue number 1. And then you got to write, just write a comment, any sort of comment, but give me hashtag FSF PopCast. Or is that the one you want?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, give me hashtag FSF PopCast, and I will make sure that you get exclusive stickers that we are not going to have. It's not going to be one of these things where it's like we're going to give it away at a different level. At least, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to give something else away. So these will be exclusive. If you hear it, if you're hearing this on this podcast and you like something that, Area 51 is basically sound stages, I'll give you the tone also to help you make the decision. It is, if you like Douglas Adams, like Life, the Restaurant at the End of the Universe, or Life, the Universe and Everything, or and it's kind of mashed up with Men in Black, except it's like Hollywood Men in Black, and then a good dose of Monty Python weirdness thrown in there.
Love it.
With the Hollywood stuff. If that is something that might interest you, then check it out. As I said, it has to be a printed thing so we can put in the stickers. But if you're not willing to risk that and you still like the idea, we have very cheap digital copies. You can either get an entire novella for $5, or you can get a digital comic for $5, and there's obviously no postage on that. So that is the deal, and let's see if it works. Maybe it does.
All right.
Maybe it's nothing.
All right. So in contrast, though, you're saying those are $5 for the digital version. How much is the printed version going to be?
It's $13 and $5 shipping.
So $18. Not bad for.
Yeah, it's
a pretty good deal.
So it's 20 pages of story and 8 pages of extras. If you're like kind of a process junkie, what the extras are going to be is they're going to be pages of the novella, which will be turned into the comic of issue number 2. So you're going to get the inks of 2 or 3 pages of issue number 2, which will be like a little mini preview. And then if you buy issue number 2, you will see like the finished version, obviously. So So yeah, and I'm going to try and do this. So anybody that gets it, off of a podcast, if there's other free and cool things, we can give, we're gonna do it. But yeah, we just ask you, because of the algorithm, to comment on the Kickstarter. Heck, even if you don't buy anything, if you go, this looks pretty good, that would help, and follow the project.
Awesome.
I mean, just support indie comics. Doesn't have to be mine. You can support. There's a lot of other great ones out there, but if you like what I described, we would be overjoyed to have you as part of the Area 51 Studios family.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure that we get a link down below for people to be able to go to your Kickstarter. And so, guys, while you're there, make sure that you click the button to go to the website, buy a comic from Ernie and Josh. Make sure that you get that, because this is a cool project. I know that I will be buying one here very shortly. I'm looking forward to that, and I will do the physical copy because I want stickers. I love stickers. I have this cool Deadpool sticker I haven't put on anything yet.
Josh is also like, he goes, we give him like stickers, and I go, are stickers going to move the needle? He's like, people love stickers. And actually, I'm making a sticker collage on this is my work desk. This is my office, right? This is where I write everything. And I got all these like cool little stickers of microbreweries and things that I
for sure,
up.
Yeah.
I have like 1,000 of them, and I'm like, they're just in a pile. I got to start. I'm going to cover, I think, my upper drawer. I've got an upper section to the desk, where I've got some toys, displayed, obviously, like everybody, in our fandom, nerddom.
Oh, for sure,
right?
Yeah.
You gotta have toys.
I mean, I've got all these stickers here. I've got a whole batch on my desk.
You know what?
Stickers from other podcasts. So yeah, I'll always take stickers.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm just
absolutely. Heck yeah.
Always. Every time if I see some sort of weird sticker, I am, especially if they're free, I'm on it. But I think this is a very good bonusy thing.
I think so.
Josh is going to make the stickers really good. I know there's this one image of one of our characters giving the finger in the comic, and we're going to that's going to be a sticker. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
But yes, all right. So sorry to sidetrack on that. I'm sure your audience wants to hear something about some project, and I'm here to answer questions. That's another. But if you follow the project, or you follow me on any of my socials, you can feel free to ping me. Like, what is the thing you wanted to know? Was this a mistake or that in the movie or whatever? I'll do my best to answer. All right.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, no, it's, by the way, we have enough tangents on this side of the microphone that, you having a small tangent about stickers was by no means a
excellent use of the cough button in action. I saw that.
Yeah, thank you. I tried.
Very good. Very good.
It's almost like I've done this once or twice. So,
I don't have the cough button. If I'm coughing or sneezing, you get it in all its glory.
There you go. Well, yeah, there's worse.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, guys, go check out Ernie on all his socials. We'll have some great information down for you in the comments down below. Where you can follow Area 51 Studios, and you can check out the comic Kickstarter. Check out him and Josh online, and buy the things, do the things, support indie comics. That's a very, very big deal.
Please.
Exactly. And so there'll be information down below for you to be able to do that. Now, the last time you were here, we talked a lot about your work with DC animation and the characters that you worked with and everything. So I actually, there's a couple characters in particular that we talked about that that have had some new things happen with them. And so I wanted to, now these are not animated. This is not on the animated side. This is live action side, but I still want to get your thoughts, your opinions on these things, because you have written for both of these characters. And one of them, in our previous interview, you talked about how you had a story that you were itching to be able to write for this character.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
All right. So first things first.
What I'm going to guess. John Constantine.
That's one of them for sure.
Oh, Guy Gardner.
That is the other one. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, because you've written a lot for
Guy Gardner's story. Oh.
Yes. So there's two parts to this. Number one, we only started talking. You mentioned the fact that you had a Guy Gardner story that you wanted to do, but you never said what it was about. And then secondly, so we see Nathan Fillion in the trailer for the new Superman movie as Guy Gardner. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that. I love it. I can't believe Gunn. I'm going to give Gunn the double thumbs up for getting him in that bowl cut wig.
Right?
I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, and just from, I mean, we haven't seen too much, for me to leap to this conclusion. But James Gunn handles oddball characters especially so well, and just when in the scene where John Cena goes, is the microphone supposed to be on where you said like stuff about your butt and then I suck, and it cuts to Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, and he laughs, and the laugh is like kind of douchey but also hilarious, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna nail it. And, I got it just from the laugh, the derisive laugh. Like the poor guy, I can't wait. I can't wait for the Peacemaker. It is set on the on the reminders. I mean, oh, my idea. I to give you. Let me see if I can find this quickly. I mean, I'm not gonna tell to you. I just want to tell you the
you can give the extreme
story.
Cliff Notes version. Like the basic premise.
Oh, okay. I've got it. So it came up. No, I can't give you the. I mean, it's too close to my heart. And besides, at this point, I might have to just create a science fiction I mean, a science fiction-y character with powers and do the story because no one's calling me and I'm getting older, right? But
Fair enough. Okay.
it is basically, it's called, it's a 4 or 5 issue run, and it's called the Days of Yestermorrow, and it
Okay.
is kind of a Days of Future Past scenario where he is the fulcrum for the galaxy being taken over by the Yellow Lanterns by what he does. And
Okay.
there's a Groundhog Day aspect to it where he has to keep going back and fixing stuff, and
Love that.
then it all changes again. So yeah, I'm like, oh, if someone would give me a chance to write, I'd be so psyched. But they're doing great. I mean, Jeremy Adams is on Green Lantern. He's a good friend of mine. He's kicking ass. Love it. Love his work. So I can't be mad. They got a great people doing it. Although if someone just would take a vacation from Green Lantern Corps.
Take a vacation.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone wants to get away from the brutal pace of comic writing for one of those things, or just do a 4-issue miniseries of I don't know, 24 pages.
That'd be kind of cool to see a limited edition series of Guy Gardner.
So I wouldn't touch any canon, and it can be all swept clean. It'll be an Elseworlds thing. But all right,
that would actually be kind of cool for it to be.
If we're doing wishes, I want a unicorn that is an aquatic horse that I can zoom around in the ocean also. So you know what?
I mean, hey, you might get the Gardner. I don't know about the unicorn, but at least you might get the Gardner. So
ooh,
I think you have a better chance on that.
My Constantine idea. Oh.
Well,
but maybe who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Maybe.
I am very interested. I'm a huge Nathan Fillion fan. There isn't much that he's done where I'm like, I'm not really.
Everything he's in, he makes better.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm excited to see what he does with Guy Gardner. And I even read somewhere that he demanded that if you want me to do Guy Gardner, it has to have the bowl cut. Like he was in it to win it for the bowl cut, from what I understand.
That's a trooper. That's a trooper. I hadn't heard that. I thought it was,
yeah.
I thought that was like
it might have been a combo of him and Gunn getting their heads together on it, but either way,
like Gunn gets on the phone. Good news. Gonna be the Green Lantern. He's like, yes. Not.
Bad news. You're gonna have a blonde bowl cut.
Not Hal Jordan.
Right?
It's like, okay, Guy Gardner, great. God, whew, looking cool in these in this iteration, and he's tough, right? I got the good hair. No, not that one.
No. Enjoy that bowl cut, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, and then let's picture like he just starts fucking with them and putting on others. It's like, no, he's got a limp, and
he's got a limp.
He's got a limp that the ring can't cure, and a wandering eye. Like just a little lazy eye,
and a slight lisp.
And a lisp. Great minds. I was going to go there too.
I'd watch that though. Especially if Philly's
so would I. He'd probably do great.
Oh, he'd nail it. He'd nail it for sure. All right. Now here's another. We talked about you already named this character, but we talked about Constantine the last time you were on, and his role in DC and what he does, and how he's the jerk, but he's got the heart of gold.
The bastard with a heart of gold, my friend.
Yeah. So it's been reported that Keanu Reeves is slated to reprise his role as Constantine. So what are you hoping for in this film that you didn't get in the first film?
Ooh. Have they said anything else about it? I've heard that but they don't have a script or anything like that.
I don't think that the script has been finalized. They're supposed to start recording potentially towards the end of this year. and they're supposed to be supposedly buttoning up the script right now. The only thing I've heard about is that it's a prequel.
It's a prequel. Well,
So I don't know how accurate that is.
I don't know. So, okay, I don't know where this story occurs. Okay, this is what I would love, and I'm unsure if they can do it because it might not be as popular as what other people would like. But I like Constantine when he's fighting against super evil demonic stuff. There is this one book, and I'm forgetting the title, in the Hellblazer comics, and it's about like a demon takes over a member of the royal family, and so it looks like a member of the royal family has sacrificed and slaughtered 20 children, and they go in there and they see that, and Constantine's like, that's it, gloves off, and it is hard. It's just like in some areas there's this section with the butcher of hell carving up a person while they're still alive. Obviously in hell they like eat them in the banquet hall. That's part of his hell punishment. Or maybe they dragged him down there and he was still alive first, and they carved him so his entrails are out. Demons are eating it. Sometimes it's a hard read, but that is the Constantine. I want hard R Constantine, horror Constantine. I would like horror Constantine, but I don't know if we're going to see a horror, and mainstream, major release horror superhero. I don't know. That would be like a big swing, but boy, oh boy, would I be running to the theater to watch it.
Well, I think if any superhero, comic book hero has an opportunity to do that and have a really nice horror crossover,
Yeah,
it would have to be Constantine. I
I
mean, I think there's a few others out there that could probably. I was kind of hoping for the same thing years ago when they brought out Ghost Rider for Marvel.
It's another one.
You know,
Yeah.
that needed to be way edgier than the soft serve vanilla cone we were served. So, but yeah, reports are that long hiatus has been because there was issues with some script issues supposedly, and trying to figure out which way they're going. According to the internet, which is, you take this with a grain of salt because, internet, you might want to take it with the whole salt. Said that after a long hiatus, John Constantine is drawn back into action after finding out supreme demons have acquired a map to heaven and are planning a mission to destroy the kingdom of God.
Ooh. Okay. Well, that sounds like a really cool story. I don't remember maybe I haven't read that one. I wonder if it's based on anything. It might not be.
I don't know.
It might not be, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. So it might not be a prequel.
I want to see Gabriel. I want to see Gabriel still cursed and out of heaven and pissed off at Constantine. Oh, and then he grabs her to like work off some of the sins, right? So it's like the buddy comedy where they absolutely hate each other and they don't get together at the end. They still hate each other. So that would be good. That could be really cool.
They're saying that I'm sorry, it's not a prequel, it's a sequel, and it could end up in the Elseworlds banner.
What am I talking about? So yeah, when you said prequel, it wouldn't be, but now, yeah, if it's a sequel, then yeah, they probably would do that. I mean, it's not Gabriel's too good of a character with Tilda Swinton playing the angel, and to not use. So I just don't think that they would just go, Constantine doing the Expo line. It's great that you got back into heaven after doing all those good deeds, Gabriel. I sure am glad. I learned a lot being human. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we have better people on this.
I think that'd be funny though.
No, it would not. We would not be happy.
I don't know. There's enough snark there. I think I could see it be pulled off a little bit though.
That's something that
Just
like
saying.
that's in the Family Guy or American Dad. You would see that. Thank God.
Yeah. Thank God you were here.
South Park. Oh my God, the huge battle. Now they're bringing in the thing. Just describing it. Right? Remember that? Now the forces of hell have come over with 1,000,000 demons. Oh, I wish you could see this.
Only if if we're going for a South Park vibe, the demons have to be the Canadians with the flappy heads.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of heaven, Guy. You're not my buddy.
Yeah.
You're my buddy, pal.
Back off.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about more. We've talked about characters that you have written for, where these are characters that are things that you weren't a part of. But let's talk about the process of your personal writing, whether it's for, let's apply this to the Area 51 studios. So in the process of putting this comic together, did you start with story first? Did you start with character first? Or how did this process happen?
You know what? That one started with a scene.
Okay.
I basically thought up this kind of compelling scene of what if aliens landed and put it, you know what? I gotta say, I was talking it over with a buddy or two, and I put forth to them, like, what would happen if aliens did come down to a couple of yokels and they just put a pedestal with a button on it and you didn't know what the button did? Like, would someone immediately press it? Does that call the aliens? Does that do this? What does it do? Right? I mean, is it a big international thing? Does everybody get in on the decision? And I was like, no. What if it was reality programming? Like, now the rest of the universe kind of watches to see what happens. And off of that initial idea, I was like, you know what, that's a little too easy. So then it went to Area 51 as a soundstage, and it's somebody's struggling show, and to raise the ratings, they do some things, and that button does come kind of into it. Not in the first one, but I'm very excited that everybody would join me for this ride on this of what's going to be kind of a graphic novel about 125 pages or so, but it's just kind of a free-form thing. It's much more free-form than doing one of the animated movies. There's a room full of people, and if we're doing something, we always got to go, well, what's our favorite moments that have to be in there? Because stuff invariably has to get cut. It's not enough time to do, 12 issues, say, of Batman Hush or something. And everybody's wants and needs have to be executed to where the whole thing kind of sings as a good standalone piece for everybody. I mean, you're doing it for people that might not be fans, that might not know too much. So there is an element of catch up and what you got to put in. With this, I just broke all those. I mean, sometimes this thing's like a stream of consciousness of what would be cool, what would be the funniest thing that would happen. And the fun thing for me was I gave Josh the novella. I'm like, here's my first script. Here's my first 20 pages. What do you think? He showed me some pictures, And then he gave me some ideas where I had to go back and rewrite. I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. I like that. So the comic is going to be a little bit different than the novella. And I like it that they're different, but they're going to head toward the same place. They've got the same big milestones, but how they get there is a little different, and some of the characters are different. And I just think that there's a world to be made here that is really super interesting and super fun. So I guess it's just like a little easier. It's more tense when you're coming in and it's like, all right, you're doing some Batman here, so don't fuck up Batman. Right?
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Or you give it kind of the impossible task. I do have some fans, right? But there's about 10% of the people who I'm their childhood ruiner for, or that I screwed up in justice because I wasn't able to get the 5.5 years of stuff and even another 100 pages of side stuff called Aftershocks all into one 72-minute movie.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's like, and then you get the other things of like, we want different characters. We're doing a Flash, so take the Flash out of yours. And I'm like, what? Get rid of him fast. So that's one of the things. We got to transfer this plot line onto somebody else. We really want Mr. Terrific in this. Mr. Terrific wasn't in that section of it. So bye Flash. But yeah, a lot of people did not like that choice. Or getting rid of the Hawkeye Black Canary romance, which I loved. Just wasn't room for it. If anybody was going to have kind of there were so many arcs between different people. Obviously, there's Batman and Nightwing, Batman and Damian, Batman and Selena, Superman and Wonder Woman, Superman and Lois. Like every one of the main 2 or 3 characters had 2 or 3 plot lines to service. And then you got great stuff like Harley and the Green Arrow, which I was like, we cannot get rid of all of this. I had to fight for that. But yeah, it's a lot more tension filled to give in your first outline or your draft going, well, they could send me back to like rip it down to the studs and start again. Or you're fired. Thankfully,
nice try on this, but we're done.
Yeah, nice try. We thank you for your contribution. Go away now.
Go away now.
All right. So I don't know if that answered your question. I hope it.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it was extra, and it had some extra fun stuff to it. So I think that's great. Okay. All right. I'm going to try this question on you, Ernie, because I've asked this of a few people as of late, and it's been one of those new things we've added into the repertoire, or how you say that word.
I like repertoire, like you said.
Repertoire. I'll go with that. Of questions that we like to ask people, just because I'm always the type of person that likes to know why a person does the things. And honestly, that's why I asked the origin question. I like to know why people do what they do. Why do they get involved in certain things? What were their influences and things that motivated them? And so this kind of plays into that a little bit as well. So now that I've told you all that, the question is, what are you reading or listening to that you think everybody else should know about?
Reading or listening to, so not watching.
Yeah. I always I like asking for reading or listening to, whether it's music, maybe you're listening to an audiobook, or you're,
okay.
Something along those lines.
You know what? If you haven't already got into it, I would say read the Dresden Files.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of them. Okay. It's like daunting, but not only they're great. They're fun enough that you would get to book 6, 7, or 8. But once it hits this certain point around 8, then every one of them is so damn fun to read. Like sometimes I've just kept reading and I'm like, oh, it's lightning outside. Like it's becoming dawn. I gotta get 3 hours of sleep or 2 hours of sleep, man. It's so good. And let's see, the Night Angel trilogy is an amazing book series by, I want to say, Blake. I'm gonna look it up. Night Angel novel series is by Brent Weeks.
Okay.
So that would be there. And I guess so. I don't really listen to books on tape. I find that it's not like I want to be doing something. I want to be reading. I don't want it just coming at me. Like that's what I watch TV for.
Fair
So
enough.
I like reading, like the act of reading. I think it's fun. I gotta throw in a TV show that I think if you haven't started watching it, it's unbelievably amazing, called Murderbot with
Yes.
with not Stellan, Skarsgård.
Yeah. Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård.
There's like 53 Skarsgård, so it's kind of hard to keep track.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to get a screener for Murderbot. So I was able to watch it before the season came out. And I wrote a review article for it on Couch Soup. And I'm just thrilled with that show. I could not.
It's
I love
too short. It's it's like 22 minutes. I'm always like, oh fuck, there's 5 minutes left again. And I'm gonna wait another week.
Oh, it easily could have been a much longer show, but what they do have packed in there is very well written. And
oh boy.
I love it's like, I mean, clearly it's sci-fi, but it's kind of sci-fi adjacent, and the way that they pack in the humor and the sarcasm is just love it. Absolutely love it.
And I mean, and the show that the bot loves, it's just packed it with great actors, right?
The cameos are insane. Insane. I'm like, if we could get a show of just that, I would actually watch that.
I want to watch this show.
Right. I'm like, give me that show too. I mean, you've teased me enough with it now.
I want to be up on what Murderbot knows and what's guiding him.
Right.
See a season of that show.
Oh God, I think that would be hilarious. Yeah, I'd watch that in a heartbeat. So,
yeah.
Well, that's a great recommendation. That's a great recommendation. Couldn't agree more with you on that. So, but yeah, excellent. All right. So it's time for the silly question, Ernie.
Okay.
We have hit that spot of the interview. It's time for the silly question. And this came about because Kathleen was out with her daughter, and somebody asked her daughter this question, but not Kathleen. And Kathleen was like, how rude. Everybody should be asked this. So, Ernie Altbacker, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, man. I mean, like, when I was a kid, it definitely would have been Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Mm-hmm.
But since at one point I did write a book, a middle grade book series called Shark Wars, I had to really get into the dinosaurs. And I think the most badass one, which I think we're going to see in this newest iteration of Jurassic World, is a mosasaur. It is a giant, I guess, crocodile-esque type thing that just has jaws that are 30 or 40 feet long and can chomp in. None of this Loch Ness monster, like very small head thing that can be chopped off. This thing is It can
Right.
swallow, I don't know, a bus hole probably. You
I
know,
think I think they show at least portion of it in the
yeah.
trailer,
In the
like, when they're out in
trailer,
the water. Yeah,
I'm like, here come
and
the
something go
mosasaurs.
yeah, something goes by the boat, and they're like, "What the hell was that?" So
Yeah, it
so I
looks
think you're
like
right.
it.
I think we
It
will see it.
looks like it, but I didn't know of them when I was, after I got back into it. So I was writing that thing around 2010 or so. So I'm like, oh, dinosaurs. I'm like, Tyrannosaur. The other ones, the two kind of like below that, always as a kid, you kind of rooted for them, but at the end you would take the Tyrannosaur, especially in the fights against with the other kids if you're doing that.
Oh, yeah.
The Allosaurus and
Mhm.
the Stegosaurus. Uh, the Stegosaurus was really cool because it had that big club tail, spike tail
Right,
on the end.
right, yeah.
And then there's the Ankylosaurus, which is kind of like a turtle with its head out, and he had a club, a
Yeah.
club tail, which I thought
Yes, he did.
was fantastic. So
Almost kinda looks like a
I
mace on the end of his
yeah,
tail.
it's like a mace, so um, some of those fights, and then you gotta love Triceratops, but most likely he's most likely going to lose to Tyrannosaurus, but he could take him out with him because those horns,
Only if he gets a gut shot, right?
Yeah. Well, and even at the gut shot, that thing's got a head full of teeth, right?
Yes, it
Not
does. Yes, it
not
does.
very good on the gripping part, but certainly on the biting part, the
The
Tyrannosaurus.
biting and ripping you apart parts, it does great
Yeah,
on.
that's really one of the bigger things that you needed. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ernie. Well, thank you for being on the FSF Popcast today. Remind everybody where they can find out more about you, your Kickstarter, and where they can look for what you've got coming next.
I'm on Facebook and X and Instagram at Ernie Altbacker. I guess there's no other Ernie Altbacker now that senior. Now that my dad has died, I might be the only Ernie Altbacker in the United States. And if you go to Kickstarter, again, search for Ernie Altbacker or Area 51 Studios. And it's on area51comic.com is also our little website about the comic, but go straight to the Kickstarter.
Perfect.
And look, I'm looking to see if this works. I'm looking to give away exclusive stickers, so I hope some
All right.
people take me up on it. All right,
I hope so.
we will.
Well, I know one will.
Josh is going to hear about this podcast and go, "You did what?"
You did what now? Say it, huh?
Yeah, so it's like now we don't have an extra whatever, like a stretch goal. We didn't even think up more than one stretch goal because we're like, hey man, it's going to be tough enough to get through whatever. These are people who haven't done a comic before, and like, is anybody going to trust me? Even though I've written some movies, but it's gonna come. The comic is done, by the way. The issue number 1, but we're just thinking we want to get all 4 done in the next, by 2026. End of 2026, there should be a graphic novel. This is not all for that. This is for issue 1 and to get us going, but there you go. So do that, and to tell me you've done it, you have to write something on the Kickstarter that has hashtag FSF PopCast.
Yes.
Or on, I guess, or on Facebook or Twitter. I'll find it. As long as you include Ernie Altbacker also, I will see it. I will write down your name, and when we're fulfilling, you shall get exclusive, nobody else has them, stickers.
Now, only if you've bought the physical copy, guys. So make sure that you're
Yes,
buying
it
the
has to
physical
be a
copy.
physical copy because we're going to put it in that
In your mailer.
the comic book mailer. So yes, unfortunately the digital, but seriously, if you don't want to go for that, the higher thing, $5 for the digital version, I think that's good. That's a bargain.
That's a great deal. That's a great deal for the digital.
Especially for the novella. The novella is like
Yeah.
150 pages. It's got 20 exclusive illustrations, black and white, that Josh did. He showed me something else when we were at WonderCon, and he's like, I did this 10-page thing, 10-page comic, because it was in black and white. I got it done in like 3 days as an example. And I'm like, can you do a bunch of black and white illustrations for the novella? And we'll put those in. And he's like, yep. Didn't take him 3 days, though. It took him a little longer. I think.
Oh,
He
sure.
was
Yeah.
like, can we lower it to 10? I'm like, my mind's set on 20, Josh.
10 sounds like a
All
nice
right,
number,
sorry.
but wouldn't 20 be better? Yeah.
20, like every 6 or 7 pages, every 5, 6, 7 pages, you get a page, page-sized picture of what's going on in the book. Mostly, some of them are a little, some of them are a little more generic. Like here's a character picture, so you don't have to imagine it. We have the character designs for a lot of the people, so and beings and aliens. So it's cool.
All right. Well, cool. All right, guys. Yeah. You're going to want to make sure that you take advantage of that offer. I will be taking advantage of that offer. That's a really cool thing. Now, and if you're not following our show here on YouTube, that's the most important thing you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Ernie Altbacker to come back and have these fun conversations with us. So go follow Ernie on his socials. Make sure that you follow the Kickstarter, buy the comic book, and mark it #FSF PopCast. Let him know that you bought the physical copy of the comic book and you want your cool stickers too. So, but please consider following our show as well, because like I said, it helps out well more than we can ever really describe. And make sure that you go check out all of Ernie's stuff as well. He's got a really cool resume. We haven't even scratched the surface of his resume on this interview because we did that in episode 140. So go back 100 episodes and find Ernie 1.0. And you can enjoy that interview as well. So, Ernie, thank you for being on the show. Thank you to everyone who has listened and or watched today. And may the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Copyright 2025 FSF PopCast. Reference to any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF PopCast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com.